Outpost Echo floated in the darkness of space. It was the last place where humans lived. The station was old, and its metal walls were worn from years of use. Many people inside were tired and afraid. They had lost Earth to a powerful alien enemy, the Excelnar. Now, they were the last survivors of their kind. Commander Ethan Carter stood inside the control room. He looked at the screens showing the station's supplies. Food and water were running low. The people needed hope, but there was little to give. Ethan had fought many battles, but this was the hardest one. He had to keep the last humans alive. A loud beep filled the room. Lieutenant Olivia Brooks, the communications officer, turned to Ethan. Her face looked confused. "We received a signal," Olivia said. Ethan walked closer. "From where?" Olivia checked the data. "From deep space, a sector we thought was empty." The signal repeated again and again. It was weak, but Olivia worked fast to decode it. Soon, she gasped, "Commander, it is a human distress signal." Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Are you sure?" "Yes," Olivia said. "Someone is out there." People in the control room whispered to each other. Many thought all humans outside the outpost were gone. This message was impossible, but it was real. Captain Ryan Mitchell stepped forward. "Commander, this could be a trap." Ethan knew that was true. The Excelnar were smart. They had fooled humans before. But there was also a chance this signal was real. If there were more humans out there, they had to help them. Ethan made his decision. "Prepare a small scout team. We will investigate." Ryan nodded. He was a good soldier and had led many dangerous missions. This would be another. Later, inside the hangar, the team got ready. Ryan stood beside Jack Lawson, an engineer, and Sophia Reed, a medic. Their ship, a small stealth shuttle, was ready to leave. Ethan stood before them. "Be careful," he said. "Find out where that signal is coming from and come back safely." Ryan saluted. "We won't fail, Commander." The shuttle lifted off and moved into space. The station became small behind them as they traveled deeper into the unknown. Inside the shuttle, the crew was quiet. Each person thought about what they might find. Jack checked the ship's controls. "We are near the signal source." Ryan looked out the window. In the distance, they saw a dark shape. It was a large warship, floating silently. "That's a human ship," Sophia whispered. "The Vanguard." The ship had been missing for years. Now it was here, alone in space. There were no lights, no signs of life. Ryan gripped his weapon. "Let's go inside." The shuttle docked with the Vanguard. The airlock opened with a hiss. Inside, the ship was cold and dark. The lights flickered weakly. They moved carefully through the hallways. There were no bodies, no signs of a fight. But something felt wrong. Jack worked on a computer. "The ship's logs are still here. I can download them." Sophia shivered. "It's too quiet. Where is the crew?" A strange sound echoed through the halls. A low hum, like a whisper. The team froze. Ryan raised his weapon. "We need to leave. Now." Jack grabbed the data and they ran back to the shuttle. The sound grew louder. The ship's lights flickered wildly. As they reached the shuttle, the Vanguard systems came to life on their own. The ship powered up, as if waking from a deep sleep. Ryan shouted, "Launch now." The shuttle shot away from the Vanguard. Behind them, the old warship began to move, its engines glowing. Jack stared at the screen. That's impossible. No one was on that ship. Ryan looked back at the dark vessel. Something was. They set course for Outpost Echo, their minds full of questions. They had found the source of the signal, but they had also found something else, something they did not understand. The danger was far from over. The small shuttle moved through space, heading back to Outpost Echo. Inside, Ryan, Jack, and Sophia sat in silence. The dark warship they had left behind was still in their minds. It had been empty, but something was wrong. The ship had powered up on its own. That was not normal. Jack looked at the data he had taken from the Vanguard. His hands moved over the screen, checking the logs. There are messages here, warnings. The crew was scared of something. Sophia sat beside him. But where did they go? There were no bodies. Ryan kept his eyes on the controls. I don't know, but I don't think they left by choice. As they neared Outpost Echo, Olivia's voice came through the radio. You're back. What did you find? Ryan took a deep breath. The Vanguard. It was abandoned. But something was there. It turned on by itself. We got the ship's data. There was silence on the other end. Then Olivia spoke. Come in fast. The commander needs to hear this. The shuttle landed inside the station. Ethan was waiting for them. His face was serious. Tell me everything. Ryan explained what happened. Jack showed the messages from the Vanguard. Ethan read them carefully. They saw something. Something they couldn't fight. Sophia crossed her arms. The ship came back to life. That shouldn't be possible. Ethan thought for a moment. We need to understand what we are facing. Jack, go through the data. Find anything useful. Jack nodded and left. Olivia stepped forward. There's more. While you were gone, we picked up another signal. This one is closer. Ethan frowned. Another human signal. Yes, Olivia said. But it's weak. It could be a trap. Ethan looked at Ryan. I need you to go again. Ryan nodded. We'll check it out. Later, the team was back on the shuttle. This time, they were joined by two more soldiers, Daniel and Luke. They were ready for trouble. The shuttle left Outpost Echo, heading for the signal. As they flew, Ryan checked the radar. We're getting close. I see a small ship. It's damaged. No movement. The shuttle approached slowly. The ship was an old human transport. Its lights were off. The hull was burned. It looked like it had been attacked. Ryan turned to the team. We go in, check for survivors, and get out fast. Be ready for anything. The airlock opened, and they stepped inside. The ship smelled of burnt metal. The halls were dark. Their flashlights cut through the shadows. It was quiet, too quiet. Sophia whispered, I don't like this. Jack checked a control panel. Power is low. Life support is failing. Daniel moved ahead. Over here. They ran to him. A door was slightly open. Inside, a man was sitting on the floor. He was breathing, but barely. His face was pale, his eyes wide with fear. Sophia knelt beside him. He's alive. Sir, can you hear me? The man coughed. They're coming. You have to leave. Ryan leaned closer. Who is coming? What happened here? The man grabbed Ryan's arm. They are not machines. They think. They learn. They will find you. His grip loosened, and he fell unconscious. Luke looked at Ryan. We need to get out of here. Now. Suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. A strange noise echoed through the halls. A slow, scraping sound. Jack pulled up his scanner. Something is moving. It's coming this way. Ryan grabbed the man and lifted him over his shoulder. Move. They ran back toward the shuttle. The scraping noise grew louder. Shadows moved at the end of the hallway. Daniel turned and fired his weapon. The light from the blast showed something moving in the dark. It was fast. It had long limbs and glowing red eyes. Go, go, Ryan shouted. They reached the airlock and jumped inside. Luke slammed the door shut. The ship shook as something hit it from the outside. Ryan threw the man onto a seat. Get us out of here. Jack started the engines. The shuttle sped away from the damaged ship. Through the window, they saw dark shapes moving on the hull. The ship was no longer empty. Sophia pressed a hand to her chest. What were those things? Ryan shook his head. I don't know, but they are real. And they are hunting us. As they flew back to Outpost Echo, the unconscious man muttered something under his breath. No escape. They will come. Ethan was waiting when they landed. His face grew pale as he heard their report. "This is worse than we thought," he said. "We are not alone in the dark. And now, they know where we are." The shuttle landed in Outpost Echo. The doors opened, and Ryan carried the unconscious man inside. Sophia checked his pulse. It was weak, but he was alive. The team was shaken. They had seen something they did not understand. Ethan stood in the control room. Olivia, Jack, and Daniel were with him. When Ryan and Sophia entered, Ethan asked, "What happened?" Ryan placed the man on a medical bed. "We found him on a damaged ship. He was the only survivor. Something attacked them." Sophia nodded. "He was scared. He kept saying they are coming. We saw something move. It was fast, and it had red eyes." Ethan's face was serious. "Did it follow you?" Jack checked the scanners. "No ships in range. But if they are out there, they will come sooner or later." The man on the bed groaned. His eyes opened slowly. He looked around, fear on his face. "Where am I?" Sophia spoke softly. "You are safe. You are in Outpost Echo. What happened to your ship?" The man swallowed hard. "My name is Adam. We were traveling through this sector when we picked up a strange signal. It was a distress call. We followed it. Then they came." Ethan stepped forward. "Who?" Adam's hand shook. "Not machines. Not like the Excalibur. These things are different. They learn. They hunt." Ryan frowned. "How did you survive?" Adam closed his eyes. "I hid. I heard them moving through the ship. They took the others. I don't know where. I sent a signal before I passed out. I hoped someone would find me." Sophia looked at Ethan. "We need to be ready. If they come, we can't be caught off guard." Ethan nodded. "Olivia, send out a warning. No ships leave the outpost. Jack, check the station's defenses." Jack sighed. "We don't have much. We were never meant to fight." Ethan's jaw tightened. "Then we fight with what we have." Time passed. The outpost was on high alert. People whispered about the new threat. No one knew what was coming. Then the alarms blared. Olivia looked at the screens. "Something is here. A ship is approaching." Ethan ran to the control panel. "Show me." A large shadow moved on the screen. It was the Vanguard. The warship they had left behind. It was coming straight toward the outpost. Ryan's eyes widened. "That's impossible. No one was on that ship." Jack shook his head. "Something is controlling it." Ethan made a quick decision. "Shut the doors. Raise the shields." The outpost's defenses powered up. The heavy metal doors closed, sealing them inside. The Vanguard stopped moving. It floated in space, silent and dark. Olivia's voice was tense. No life signs. No signals. Then the lights inside the Vanguard turned on. Sophia whispered, "It's watching us." A message appeared on the screen. One word: run. Ryan clenched his fists. "They know we are here." Ethan looked at his people. "We are not running. We are the last of humanity. We stand and fight." Jack nodded. "Then we need a plan." Ethan turned to the group. "We don't know what we are facing. But we know one thing. They are coming." The Vanguard floated in space, its dark shape blocking the stars. The outpost was silent. Everyone inside held their breath. They watched the screen, waiting. Ryan gripped his weapon. "We need to know what is inside that ship." Ethan nodded. "Agreed. But we won't risk more lives. Olivia, scan it again." Olivia worked quickly. No life signs. No signals. But something is wrong. The ship's power is increasing. Jack frowned. "If no one is there, then who is turning it on?" Before anyone could answer, the lights inside the Vanguard changed. A bright red glow filled the windows. Adam, the survivor, gasped. "That's how it started on my ship. Then they came." Sophia put a hand on his shoulder. "Tell us, what did you see?" Adam's voice shook. "They move like shadows. They don't speak, but they know. They control machines. They learn from us. Ethan turned to Olivia. Can they hack into our systems? Olivia's hands flew over the controls. I don't know, but I'll block all connections. No signals go in or out. Jack looked at Ethan. We should destroy the Vanguard. If they are inside, we end it now. Ethan shook his head. Not yet. If we attack first, we show them we are afraid. We need to know what they want. Ryan stepped forward. Then let me go in. A small team. We get inside, gather information, and get out. Sophia looked worried. That's too dangerous. Ethan thought for a moment. We need answers. Ryan, take Jack and Daniel. Get in and come back fast. Ryan nodded. We'll be careful. The small shuttle moved toward the Vanguard. Ryan, Jack, and Daniel sat in silence. Each man was tense, gripping his weapon. Jack whispered, I don't like this. Ryan checked his gear. Stay sharp. We get in and out fast. The shuttle docked. The airlock opened with a hiss. Inside, the Vanguard was dark and cold. Their footsteps echoed in the silence. Daniel shined his flashlight. No bodies, just like Adam's ship. Jack checked a control panel. Systems are running, but no crew. It's like the ship is alive. Ryan motioned for them to move. We go to the bridge, find any logs, then we leave. As they walked, strange noises echoed through the halls. A soft, whispering sound. It seemed to come from everywhere. Daniel gripped his weapon. What is that? Jack's voice was shaky. I don't know. They reached the bridge. The main screen flickered. A message appeared. We see you. Ryan's heart pounded. They know we are here. Jack worked fast. I got some data. Logs from the last crew. Daniel turned. Something is moving. A shadow moved at the end of the hall. Then another. Red eyes blinked in the dark. Ryan shouted, Run. The shadows rushed toward them. They moved too fast. Ryan fired his weapon. But the shots passed through them. They were not solid. Jack yelled, They're not real. Daniel screamed as cold hands grabbed him. He vanished into the darkness. Ryan turned back. Daniel. Jack pulled him. We can't help him. Move. They ran back to the shuttle. The shadows followed, whispering. Ryan jumped inside. Launch now. The shuttle shot away. Behind them, the Vanguard glowed brighter. Then, it turned toward the outpost. Sophia's voice came over the radio. What happened? Where is Daniel? Ryan's voice was hard. We lost him. And now, they are coming. Ethan watched the screen as the Vanguard moved. Then we get ready. Because this fight has just begun. The outpost was silent. The people inside watched the screen as the Vanguard moved closer. The red glow from its windows looked like eyes staring at them. Ethan stood in the control room. His hands were tight fists. They are coming. We have to be ready. Ryan sat near Olivia. His face was pale. We lost Daniel. Those things took him. We couldn't stop them. Sophia put a hand on Ryan's shoulder. We will fight for him. We won't let them take anyone else. Jack worked on the computer. The logs from the Vanguard say the same thing Adam told us. These creatures learn. They take people and use them. Adam was sitting in a corner. He looked weak. They don't just take people. They change them. Ethan turned to Adam. What do you mean? Adam's voice was quiet. They are not shadows. They are something else. They get inside your mind. They turn you into one of them. Ryan's eyes widened. Are you saying Daniel is? Adam nodded. He's gone. If they took him, he's one of them now. Sophia shook her head. No, we don't know that. We will find a way to save him. Jack sighed. We don't even know if they can be stopped. The logs say they destroyed whole ships. They don't leave survivors. Ethan took a deep breath. We will not be their next victims. We fight. Olivia checked the sensors. The Vanguard is getting closer. It will reach us in 20 minutes. Ethan turned to Jack. Can we destroy it? Jack thought for a moment. We have weapons, but they are not strong enough to break a warship. Ryan stood up. Then we go inside again. We plant explosives and blow it up from the inside. Sophia grabbed his arm. You just got out of there. It's too dangerous. Ryan looked at her. If we don't stop it now, we all die. Ethan nodded. He's right. Ryan, Jack, and Luke, you will go. Get in, plant the charges, and get out fast. Luke checked his rifle. Let's finish this. The shuttle left the outpost. Inside, the three men sat in silence. The Vanguard grew larger in the window. Jack whispered, I don't want to go back in there. Ryan checked his gun. We don't have a choice. The shuttle docked. The doors opened. The ship was still dark and cold. The red glow flickered through the halls. Luke whispered, something is different. Ryan moved forward. Let's move fast. Get to the engine room. They walked through the empty halls. Their footsteps echoed. The whispering sound started again. Jack clenched his jaw. They know we are here. A shadow moved in front of them. Red eyes glowed in the dark. Luke raised his gun. It's Daniel. Daniel stood there, his face pale. His eyes glowed red. You don't have to fight. Join us. Ryan gritted his teeth. We are not joining you. Daniel took a step forward. His voice was not his own. You will. Soon. The shadows behind him moved. More red eyes appeared. Jack whispered, we have to go. Now. Ryan took a deep breath. Run. They turned and ran. The shadows chased them. The whispering grew louder. They reached the engine room. Jack placed the charges. Done. Luke covered the door. Hurry up. Ryan helped Jack. Time to leave. They ran back to the shuttle. The shadows were close. Daniel's voice echoed through the halls. You can't escape. Ryan jumped into the shuttle. Launch now. Luke hit the controls. The shuttle shot away. The Vanguard was still moving toward the outpost. Ryan grabbed the radio. Ethan, we planted the bombs. Blow it up. Ethan's voice came through. Understood. A bright explosion lit up space. The Vanguard shook. Then, it started to fall apart. The red glow disappeared. Sophia's voice was filled with relief. You did it. Ryan looked at the burning ship. But at what cost? The shuttle returned to the outpost. Ethan was waiting for them. We won this battle. But the war is not over. Jack nodded. They will come again. Ryan clenched his fists. Then we will be ready. The outpost was quiet after the explosion. The people inside watched as the remains of the Vanguard floated in space. The red glow was gone. Ryan stood in the control room. He looked at Ethan. Do you think they are really gone? Ethan shook his head. I don't know, but we can't assume we are safe. Sophia sighed. We lost Daniel, and we almost lost all of you. Jack checked the sensors. No signs of movement. Maybe we stopped them. Adam sat in a corner, his hands shaking. No, they are not gone. They never stop. Ryan turned to him. How do you know? Adam swallowed hard. I've seen it before. They lose a battle, but they come back stronger. They learn. Ethan looked at the others. Then we have to be ready. Jack frowned. How? Our weapons barely did anything. Olivia worked at her station. I'm checking the data from the Vanguard. Maybe we can find something useful. Ryan nodded. Good. We need an advantage. Time passed. People moved through the outpost, repairing damage and checking systems. They were tired, but they kept working. Then the alarms blared. Olivia's voice was urgent. Something is coming. Ethan ran to her station. What is it? Olivia's hands moved quickly over the controls. A ship. No, multiple ships. They appeared out of nowhere. Jack checked the screen. They are not like the Vanguard. These are smaller, faster. Ryan grabbed his weapon. Then they sent scouts. Ethan's jaw tightened. If they find us, they will bring more. We can't let them. Sophia looked at him. What do we do? Ethan turned to the team. We fight. Jack sighed. Here we go again. Ryan looked at Adam. You know them. What do you think? Adam's face was pale. They will test us first. See how we react. If we are weak, they will attack with everything. Ethan nodded. Then we show them we are not weak. The ships moved closer. The outpost's defenses powered up. Everyone took their positions. The first ship fired. The outpost shook. Ryan shouted, "Return fire." Jack pressed the controls. The outpost weapons fired back. One enemy ship exploded, but two more moved in fast. Sophia called out, "They are surrounding us." Ethan gritted his teeth. We hold the line. The battle raged. The outpost shook again and again. The enemy ships were fast, but the humans fought hard. Then a new alarm sounded. Olivia gasped. Something is happening. The ships are changing. Ryan looked at the screen. The enemy ships were shifting, their forms twisting. New weapons appeared on their hulls. Jack cursed. They are adapting. Ethan clenched his fists. Then we changed too. Hit them with everything we have. The battle grew fiercer. The outpost fired every weapon. The enemy ships took damage, but they kept coming. Ryan's voice was steady. We can't let them win. Sophia called out. Another ship destroyed. Jack shouted, "We need more power." Ethan made a decision. Divert all energy to weapons. Olivia hesitated. That will lower the shields. Ethan's eyes were hard. If we don't stop them now, shields won't matter. Do it. Olivia pressed the controls. The outpost's weapons glowed brighter. The next shots hit hard. Enemy ships exploded one by one. Ryan clenched his fists. It's working. Jack smiled. We might win this. Then the enemy ships stopped moving. For a moment, everything was silent. Sophia whispered, "Did we do it?" Adam shook his head. No, they are watching. Learning. Ethan stared at the screen. Then we get ready, because they will come again. The outpost was quiet after the battle. The enemy ships were gone, but the damage remained. Smoke filled some halls, and sparks fell from broken wires. The people inside worked hard to repair what they could. Ethan stood in the control room, looking at the screen. They will come back, he said. We need to be ready. Ryan wiped sweat from his forehead. We barely survived this fight. What if they bring bigger ships next time? Sophia looked at the reports. Our weapons are running low. We used too much power. We need time to recover. Jack worked at the computer. I'm scanning for any other survivors. If there are other human outposts, we need help. Olivia checked the sensors. No signs of enemy movement for now. But Adam was right. They are watching. They are waiting. Adam sat in the corner, staring at nothing. They are testing you, he whispered. They know humans fight hard. They will change their strategy. Ethan walked over to him. Then we have to change too. We can't just wait for them. We need to act first. Ryan crossed his arms. Are you saying we should attack them? That's suicide. Ethan shook his head. Not an attack. A mission. We need to find where they are coming from. If we know more about them, we have a chance. Sophia frowned. That's risky. But waiting here to die is worse. Jack looked at the screen. I found something. There is a signal coming from deep space. It doesn't match any human codes. Olivia checked the readings. It could be them, or it could be something else. Ethan made his decision. We investigate. Ryan, Jack, and I will take a small ship. We go in, find what we can, and come back fast. Sophia looked worried. That's dangerous. If you don't return, we are all alone here. Ryan nodded. I don't like this, but I'll go. If we find something useful, It could save us all. Adam stood up. I'm coming too. Ethan studied him. You've been through a lot. Are you sure? Adam nodded. I know them. I know how they think. You will need me. Ethan agreed. All right. We leave soon. The small ship launched from the outpost. Inside, the team sat in silence. The stars stretched before them. Jack checked the controls. We are heading toward the signal. Should be there in an hour. Ryan tightened his grip on his weapon. Let's hope we don't regret this. As they got closer, they saw something huge in the distance. A structure floating in space. It was dark, with strange glowing symbols across its surface. Olivia's voice came over the radio. What do you see? Ethan stared at the massive object. It's not a ship. It looks like a station. A base. Jack scanned it. It's old. Very old. But it's still active. Ryan looked uneasy. I don't like this. Feels like a trap. Adam's voice was quiet. It is. But we have no choice. They docked the ship. The airlock opened with a hiss. Inside, the station was dark and cold. Their footsteps echoed. Jack checked his scanner. No life signs. But there's something strange. Energy readings are high. Ethan moved forward. Let's find the source of the signal. As they walked, the whispering started again. It came from the walls, the floors, the air itself. Ryan gritted his teeth. I hate that sound. Adam's face was pale. They are here. Watching. They reached a large door. Strange symbols covered it. Jack pressed a button, and it opened slowly. Inside, they saw something terrifying. A giant machine, glowing red, pulsing with energy. It looked alive. Ryan whispered, What is that? Adam stepped forward. It's their mind. This is how they think. This is how they control everything. Ethan tightened his grip on his weapon. Then we destroy it. Jack nodded. I can set charges, but we need to move fast. As they worked, the whispers grew louder. The shadows around them moved. Ryan shouted, They know we're here. The red glow spread across the walls. Shapes began to form, dark figures with glowing eyes. Adam's voice was firm. We finish this, no matter what. Jack set the last charge. Done. Let's go. They ran back to the ship. The shadows chased them. The airlock closed just in time. Ethan shouted, Blow it now. Jack pressed the button. The station erupted in flames. The explosion spread, consuming everything. As they flew away, Ryan looked back. Did we stop them? Adam watched the burning station. For now. But they will return. They always do. Ethan stared at the stars. Then we will be ready.